This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Bikeworks HMB, your one-stop shop for bike service, sales, and rentals in Half Moon Bay, California. Whether you're on the mountain, road, or low on battery, Bikeworks HMB has your back. So come on down to 520 Kelly Street and come talk some shop with the boys. All right, I'm GT. Peace out. Enjoy this episode of the podcast.
All right, guys. Welcome back. Episode 3.
Yeah. You met David. You met Ian. Now you get to meet me.
Gavin's turn.
Yeah.
Gavin, we're happy to have you here.
In the hot seat, like that game.
Yeah. Our host in the middle.
All right.
Right on.
Scoot forward so I can talk into a microphone.
All right. So you were a childhood?
I was a childhood at one point. I did have a childhood.
Yeah. Childhood, high school, and collegiate athlete.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of went through the ringer.
I did.
Kind of did it all.
I kind of did do it all.
Big sports guy.
Big sports guy.
I enjoy my sports. Very competitive.
From like early memories, you also raced dirt bikes.
Yeah, so I started out, well, sport-wise.
Okay. Gonna stop you. We played soccer against each other.
Yeah.
Very aggressively.
Yeah. I had an issue in sports without contact of actually hitting people. And then when it came time to play like football and stuff, I would still hit people, but it was a better way of controlling aggression.
Okay.
Because I had anger issues when I was little. Not anymore. Don't worry. But yeah, I had anger issues. So like we'd play in a basketball tournament when I was, I don't know, I'd be like 6 or 7. And they're like, oh, dude, no, nobody's going to foul out. They're not keeping track of fouls. I'm like, yeah, just start.
Breaking rules.
Tackled some kids, and then they're like, okay, yeah, you do foul out. I just sit on the bench.
What sports were you into?
Growing up, I played soccer, baseball, basketball, and football. And then after, kind of during, I got really into dirt bike racing. I started riding Honda 50s when I was 3.5 in there. Got my first little Honda 50 from my dad. Funny enough, I know I say this a lot, like when we were talking earlier about when we first hung out in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good memory from childhood, but I still remember the day that my dad came home and he's like, hey, Morgan, Gavin, I got you guys something in the garage. And we're like, what is it? And we go outside and it's like my sister had a taller 50, like the old fast 50s. I don't know if you remember those. Yeah. She had one of those, and then I had the little like 4 to 6 Honda 50 small with training wheels.
How old were you?
I was 3.
3.5. Is that
actually
your oldest,
now
like,
remember
earliest memories?
It's pretty early. Yeah, because it meant so much to me.
Oh yeah.
But actually, prior to that, I won my first wakeboarding contest when I was 3.
That's insane.
We have a picture and the bindings are up to my knees because my dad was a professional wakeboarder and professional skimboarder.
Yeah.
Professional as in he had sponsors and he'd travel around on his own dime to go compete and do all that stuff. As professional as it kind of gets at that time in that sport.
Yeah.
But so I started wakeboarding, doing that stuff, and then I got into riding Honda 50s. My grandpa raced flat track. My dad raced flat track for a little bit, got more into the motocross side of things. So when he got us the dirt bikes, we started going to Sand Hill, started out on ovals, racing that way, and wasn't the best at that because it just wasn't my style. I liked a little more technical stuff, as I came to find out. But then by the time I was like 5 to 6, I got on Cobras, and we started racing everything around here. So that would have been East Street at the time, Riverside, which is also in Marysville.
That's where I dislocated my knee.
Yeah. They had the hair scrambles there.
Brutal.
Up there quite a bit. We're up in, go down south a lot. Yeah, just traveling around, racing, having fun.
I actually really competitive.
What's that?
When did it get really competitive?
It got really competitive when I got turned 6 years old, because then we started, that was the time when we got the motor home.
Yeah.
And we started to go down to like LA every weekend because that's where all the big races were. And then we started doing Loretta's qualifiers up here. So we'd go to like E Street for, I think they called it the regional. And then you'd go to Honey Lake in Nevada.
Okay.
Go up there and race. And then so that was kind of the 2 races. And then after that, you'd go to Loretta Lynn's and Tennessee, Hurricane Mills.
How was that? How many
Fucking
times?
so awesome.
How many times did you race Loretta Lynn's?
Twice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And both times it was on 50s.
Okay.
Yeah. I was young.
Because when did you stop when you were on 65s?
I stopped I think it was the last year that I would have been on a 65. We were up in Washougal, and it was the last.
So sick.
So sick. It was the last qualifier for Loretta's, and I missed it by 1 position.
Shit.
And then at that point, so I was
that
sponsored.
after blowing up your knee?
Yeah, I tore my ACL when I was 7. That sucked.
Yeah. I remember that in elementary school.
I was playing.
And you were like still trying to play fucking.
Yeah,
play
I
fucking
hate losing.
kickball with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those people that don't know what a big deal Loretta Lynn's is, I mean,
It's the largest amateur race in the world. Like people from all over the world come to race Loretta Lynn's.
it's the biggest deal in that age group of motorcycle racing.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like the pinnacle of outdoor U.S. motor.
Yeah.
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 The people that usually do well there have a career in that sport.
Yeah. And I didn't do anything special there, but I raced it and I had fucking so much fun.
I mean, that's such a huge deal.
So cool. And the second year I went, actually, I had a sponsor. It was an old shop over the hill in, I think, Redwood City, but it was MDK.
Yeah. I remember. I still have a shirt.
Dude, in that year, it was so sick. They flew me out. They shipped my bike. I stayed in the MDK rig. I had my own mechanic. I bunked with Vince Freezy. Vince Freezy was my bunkmate.
That's so sick.
I woke up in the middle of the night and he was just like throwing elbows at. I'm just kidding. No, it was super cool. So I got to do that, experience that, and that was kind of the peak, because then MDK went out of business actually.
Yeah.
And that kind of led to the ending of me racing dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking expensive
Well,
every weekend. Like the sacrifices that my parents made to do that are insane.
You were literally rubbing elbows with the people that would end up being professional in that sport.
Yeah. Like Michael Mosman, a kid I was actually good friends with racing, is still racing.
Mosman is NorCal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mosman just he almost
just won in the round.
Yeah, he did really good in the
He
trip.
did really good. I got in a fight with Mosman when we were little over a video game in my RV. Fun fact.
And Vince Freezy doing Vince Freezy things out there.
Yeah. Both of those guys.
He's a bit older though, right?
Vince Freezy, yeah. I think he was on 250s at the time.
Oh shit.
At Loretta's, yeah. Yeah, he's way older.
I want to say he's older than I am.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I think he's like about to retire now. Like he's
good for him. Good career.
Yeah.
Made it for himself, yeah.
Yeah, so I went from moto, and then I was kind of juggling at the end there. I was juggling moto and football and basketball all at the same time, and I started to fall in love with all sports. So then, we hung up the racing, and it was a big decision, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I would do it over again in a heartbeat. Like, something people don't really understand about dirt bikes is you're on this machine that could kill you, and you're very young, and it teaches you how to just really fend for yourself. And the things that you can take away from that moving forward in life is like, no one's going to be there to fucking walk you through anything. You have to, if you fall in a corner, like the flaggers and stuff were told, don't help them up. Like they have to get up on their own, all this stuff. So it's just like teaching you at a young age, like pick up the slack. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So then I took that into ball sports.
You're the only link.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
so if you're weak, the whole thing sucks.
Yeah.
Right.
And I also feel like when it comes to, it's such a solo thing.
Mm-hmm.
Racing dirt bikes, like it's you and you alone. And even like you were just traveling, it's like you and your dad, like most of the time.
Yeah.
Just you two. And so like probably transitioning into ball sports.
It was so strange.
Well, and also like a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're with all, you're just with the boys. That, messing around.
Because like that was also the hardest thing. Like you go to school, I loved hanging out with my friends, and then all of a sudden you're gone for 3 weeks and you just have this fucking packet of schoolwork that your teacher is just like, you got to get through this to stay up. So like I wouldn't touch it. And then on the whole ride home from Tennessee or like Texas or Virginia, whatever the hell it was, I would be working through this packet with my mom. And it was just so bad. I was just like, this is not the lifestyle. Now that I look back at it, I'm like, that's not the lifestyle that I would have wanted.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it at the time?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
Even
I loved
the school
every
part?
second of it. The school part was fine. Yeah. Didn't really feel like school. Yeah. It was like a homeschool situation.
Did you ever have intention of just sticking with, I mean, at some point in time you hung up the boots and it was it, but
if I would have thought that I wasn't going to do it in the future, I would have sucked. Right.
Yeah.
So like, yes, my parents, me, we were both fully committed to it.
Yeah.
And my parents, like thinking about being a parent and your daughter is playing AAU basketball and is super into basketball, traveling all over, and like weekend comes and my mom would have to take my sister down to like Reno or up to like Reno, and then my dad would be taking me down to like Paris, California. Yeah. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like every weekend. Insane. I could only imagine the strain that had on their relationship, but yeah, super cool. So anyways, transition from dirt bikes into sports was pretty cool because like you said, I got to hang out with my friends, but it was a bit of a transition period of being like, okay, I'm not the only person in this sport. Like I have to learn how to manage a team. And at the time when I started playing football, I was tight end, defensive end, and linebacker.
Okay.
And then basketball, I was always a shooting guard. I was no good at soccer. And I sucked at baseball. I played baseball for a little while, but I got bored with baseball. I just liked faster paced games at the time. Now I like a little slower paced games, but got into basketball and football and just fully dove in, and my mom and dad and my sister all were right there with me too. So that was super cool. Like when I was still racing dirt bikes, but at like 7 or 8, I was already traveling for football camps as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I had started playing quarterback around, I think I was 8 somewhere. I could be totally off with these ages, but I was young. And I just kind of clicked playing quarterback. I just was a good like manager of keeping players in line, knowing the insides and outs of the offense.
You kind of have to see the game differently.
Yeah. You got to kind of see it as like, you're not a coach. Like that's the biggest thing. That would always piss me off. Like players would be like, teammates would be like, "Oh yes, coach." I'm like, "I'm not a coach, dude." Like, but you have to do this. Otherwise the whole play goes to shit.
Yeah.
Like I was able to pick up on that super early. So then we were traveling down to like Santa Barbara for quarterback, like, Clarkson's QB Academy in Santa Barbara. And then we were going, I can't remember other places, but we were just traveling a lot. We started winning in football. And we won the very first Best of the West in Pop Warner. That was awesome. That was super cool. That was like that was when I was like, yeah, dude, sports is the shit. Like ball sports are sick. And then we won, or I think you were on that team in basketball, D1 champs in the
Third grade?
OLP.
3rd grade? 4th grade?
I think it was 6th grade.
6th grade OLP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You and Billington.
Yeah.
We're still on.
Yeah.
So we started doing that. And then that was when, once we won those 2 championships in both sports, we had a core group of dudes that were just there every year. Like when I started playing football at the high school, the first thing that Holden said to me was like, "I know exactly who you are. I used to see you at the high school Saturday mornings when you were like 6 years old with your dad running with a parachute on your back." I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Like I've done.
I didn't know
hard.
I didn't know what it was doing at the time, but yeah, I just got fortunate enough to be in the life with parents who fucking just dive in. Yeah. Like how you're saying you commit and go to everything as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm athletic and I have a good ability off the bat, but my dad really showed me how a work ethic means more than talent. So working, and my mom too, but with sports, my dad was the one taking me to the high school in the mornings on Saturday mornings when people are still sleeping at like 7 years old and I'm up there throwing.
Yeah. You don't have to be good at anything. You just have to want it.
Yeah, you just got to have to want it.
You have to
and that was the thing.
Yeah.
Like throughout my life, I get goosebumps talking about this. But when I started racing dirt bikes, my dad always told me you have to have the most heart, right? So whether I was winning or losing, I knew where he was always on the track. And if I crashed and I was coming in at like third or fourth place, I'd come around the corner, and the way that I would know that I was riding good is I would come past my dad, and I would just like, you kind of glance over, and he would just be like fucking, that was hard, like that. And then I can still, like, in football and basketball, it was always the same thing. Like, didn't have to say anything. I just knew I was giving it my all when I could see him tapping his heart, because he's like, fuck yeah. Like,
that's cool that he could appreciate that in any situation, right?
Yeah. Because everybody has a breaking point. Yeah. Like, I don't care who you are, you have a breaking point. And when you find out who you are, when you get to that breaking point and you push past it. Yeah. So to push past it and then be reassured at a young age that you're doing the right thing that
was huge.
Pushed me into others, take that everywhere.
Just for your development, that was huge, probably.
Yeah.
Just in general, yeah.
Yeah. No video games. Never had video games growing up until I snuck and bought a PlayStation in college and didn't tell my dad, but that doesn't. But that was always like my mom and dad were always like, you're not playing video games. Like, if you have time in the day, especially at night, go ding dong ditch, go do something fun with your friends, go TP houses.
Yeah.
And if you get caught, clean it up, move on. It's fun, Yep. But during the day, it's like, go build a bike jump. So I always had bike jumps out in front of my house, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. Started winning in sports, played football, basketball all through high school. Played pretty good in high school, won some championships. And then I went to college and tried to play here at CSM.
How long did you do college football? Was that only a year or 2 years?
That was a year and a season. So I guess 2 years in football. Okay. I started at CSM, and then I blew my shoulder out on a dirt bike and sat and gray shirted. And then I left CSM and went to Foothill and played a season at Foothill with a broken wrist and a cast, and I punted. And then I was like, I'm burnt out, dude. I was like, I've been doing this since I was 6. I'm gonna hang up the cleats now. So then I remember telling my mom, I'm like, I just want to know what it feels like to just be a student for a little while. So then I went down to Cuesta, and I did a year at Cuesta, and then I got in. Right? Yeah. Then I got into Cal Poly. Yeah. That was like my dream school since sophomore year. I was originally being recruited by Cal Poly our senior year of high school. Okay. For football.
Nice.
And then like right as it was starting to get serious. So in Half Moon Bay, it's a big deal if coaches come to practices because we're so far out of their normal scouting and recruiting routine. But we had me, Chase, Jake, and Hayden that were all being looked at by Cal Poly.
I mean, you guys had an unreal group. You guys won a lot, but that was the group that had been together since you guys were 6.
Since we were 6, since Pop Warner all the way through. And right as I was about to be like, I want to go to Cal Poly, I want to play football at Cal Poly right out of high school. They fucking fired the entire coaching staff, got a brand new coaching staff, and I was like, fuck.
No Mustangs.
They ran our...
Now nobody knows who I am.
Yeah, basically, yeah. No, I could have gone and played D3 ball, NAIA. I just didn't. I didn't want to, honestly. Yeah. Hayden and Chase went and played D3 ball. I had a lot of fun. Chase played all 4 years. Jake played all 4 years, D3 ball. I don't know why. I just didn't want to. I also had a girlfriend. I was
going to say, you've been with Blair now for like 8 years, right?
I am in love. Love those funny things.
And also, like, how good was it to not have that obligation?
Oh, so cool. I had so much time.
Yeah.
Dude, it was insane. When I stopped playing football, football's like a full-time job. Like, I'd get to campus at like 6:30, 7 a.m., lift, go to classes, come back, film, practice, meet in the quarterback's room, get home around like 7:30 at night, wake up, do it all over again. So I was cooked. I was like, I'm done. Like, college football is not the same as high school football. I don't have all my friends. So then I went down to Cal Poly, got a degree in ag business. And then that was when I went down to slow is right when COVID hit. And then that's when I got into mountain biking, really.
Yep.
I always rode my dirt jumper on mountain bike trails, but then COVID, I worked for 3 months and got unemployment. And at the time, unemployment was paying out. And I was just like, dude.
And your dad was...
My dad had just...
Your dad was getting into it, yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I want a mountain bike. And that fucking just so awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it's fun. And it also gives me the same feeling that I had on a motorcycle. It's a completely different ride.
But you can't ride your dirt bike everywhere.
No,
but you can ride your mountain bike everywhere.
That was the biggest thing. Like I was going to buy a moto, and then my dad actually said that exact same thing. He's like, I want to think about getting a mountain bike. Like, you can ride it every day. You don't have to drive an hour and a half to go ride. Right.
Or more.
Yeah, more. But, yeah. And now I'm here.
So
now I'm into golf and cornhole.
So when you were done with football, I mean, you had an option to go D3.
Yeah.
When you went to college, you guys probably weren't winning as much, and you were kind of plagued by injury. Was there a part of you that was like, I kind of don't see a future here? Is that part of why? Well, is that part of why you?
That's what. Yeah. So like same thing that I was telling you about when you asked about dirt bikes, like. If I ever thought that I wasn't going to be doing it, and I was like, you have to think that you're going to be doing it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's also another reason why we were so good in high school.
Yeah.
Is because all of us expected to play in college. So we were giving it our all. Like you're fucking fully bought in, whatever. But college, once I got separated from my friend group and the core group of guys that I was playing those sports with,
that chemistry's kind of gone.
Yeah, it all changed.
Gone. You
had to make new connections. Like I made a lot of really good friends that I still talk to, but it just wasn't the same. And I didn't like it. I could care less for it now that I'm looking back at it. But I'm still happy that I pushed myself to just come to that conclusion, because if I didn't come to that conclusion, I would still be talking like I would have wanted to do it.
What was a bigger feeling of accomplishment? The CCS titles or winning cornhole?
CCS titles. Yeah. Cornhole does feel good because it's so new and it sounds so lame, but cornhole's so fun.
Yeah, no, the cornhole nights are a lot of fun. It's a good time. It's cheap, good fun.
Yeah. If you're ever around Thursday nights, Blue Ocean Brewing.
Thursday nights, Blue Ocean Brewing.
Cornhole tournament.
Fun time.
Got to get the app, Score Holio.
Do you throw cornhole bags with your left hand?
Yeah, I do everything left-footed, left-handed.
So everyone that doesn't know, Gavin's completely left.
Yeah.
Like just
left the building.
Yeah, left hand, left foot.
Left, throws left, kicks left, everything.
Yeah.
Golf's left-handed.
Yep.
Only whips to the left side.
Yep.
Yeah. Head even leans to the left. Yeah.
You might be the only lefty golfer in our group.
I think I am.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah. Well, Josh putts left-handed.
Yeah, but it makes you really hard to give you like hand-me-down clubs.
Yeah, I got lucky. My cousin
is also lefty.
Eric is a lefty.
Every time I'll be looking at a club in your bag, and I'm like, oh man, I want to try that club, and then
dude, that happens
I
way
take
too
it out. I'm like, oh,
it's so tough, dude. There's so many times where I've looked at it and I'm like, oh, I really.
Yeah. Winning CCS was definitely just every championship in football was really, really fun, because you're not just like. Winning a big race in motocross, I'd go back and celebrate with like my family and my friends at races.
Yeah.
But then like that was like, I did it with my childhood group of friends.
Yeah,
like
for
there's
sure.
no better feeling than that. And when you win it 3 years in a row.
Yep.
And then you get a NorCal championship, and then you get to experience a state championship by 2. But yeah,
the allure of golf is so much different.
The what?
The allure of golf.
Oh,
just going towards golf.
Yeah.
Well, you're still competitive.
I mean,
you don't have a team around you.
I try to be competitive in anything.
Yeah. What kind of drug you into golf though? Was other people doing it?
Golf was when I was in slow. I wasn't playing football. I had all this extra time on my hands. I'd finish my schoolwork like I was still playing football.
Yeah.
Like I'd be done by 3 or 4 in the afternoon and ready to do something, and I'd have like hours of sunlight left, and I'd found myself I would ride my bike. But then I got kind of bored. You go through little phases.
I also think it was Ronnie, because I think when Ronnie was in town, like back in town, I think he and I went to the range like a bunch of times in a row.
Uh-huh.
And then I think he got clubs when he was down
I don't know. I kind of remember all of us starting at the same time.
Yeah.
It was after you came down to visit and talked us into going to play.
Yeah.
And that was terrible, but it was so fun. It's just addicting when you hit like you have one good round, and then
but then
you're hooked.
You can have a shit round, but you hit one good shot.
Yeah,
dude. It's one or two good shots in a round, and that's what keeps you going.
And I like to be competitive, and in that sport, you can be competitive with everybody because everybody's pretty bad.
in our friend group.
In our friend group.
You can be competitive with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no shortage of being able to compete.
Yeah.
But we're also
handicap system, and
it's kind of fun in our friend group because handicap system doesn't really matter for the most part because we're all so similar. Like if you take, 8 of us, like two full groups on the golf course, I don't think we need to talk about handicap at all.
No.
Like we can just play straight up if we want to. And it's even enough.
I do like to see now that I have 18 birdies, it is kind of fun to like you're saying, compete with yourself and see if you can better the
get the number down.
Yeah, that is
for sure.
And I like how some people will lie and some won't, and then you find out on the golf course. Like, I love that. That's like, to me, that translates into football. Like, you see a team that's like really good in their division, and you're like, dude, there's nothing going on in Sutter. What are you doing?
Guys are more likely to lie about their golf handicap than their dick size.
Ooh, fair. That's totally
%.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm just
I never lie. What do you think your handicap is?
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, mine on 18 birdies is like 20.5, but I was at 24 for most of the time.
Yeah, I'm like a 23, dude. You have to give me 3 strokes. How do you feel about that?
You're not at 23.
How are you at 20?
I don't know. That's just what my thing says.
You're being brutally honest, inputting like every single round you play.
Yeah, I don't track every single round. Like if I'm playing a 9-hole or like Mariners or something, I probably won't track that.
Yeah,
so Emerald Hills.
I would say over half of the rounds of golf that I play, not that I track my handicap, but I wouldn't track just because I go out and I'm like, I'm just shooting around today.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah. Otherwise, because it also brings a different aspect to the game.
I love not keeping track of my score.
Yeah.
I love not keeping track of my score. It's so fun
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If I go out with Nico and he wants to keep track of score, I do it, and I'll keep track of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll 4-putt just, even if I'm not trying.
I mean, if
I'll miss that one, it still counts.
Before a round, if everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to track, then I'm like, yeah, let's track. But if one person was like, I'm not going to track, I'd probably still be like, I'll track. But if everybody's like, no, we're not tracking today, then I'll be like, okay, let's go track.
Yeah. I mean, you still have some sort of count. You're like, dang, I'm here in 4.
Yeah.
Like I gotta hit the green in 5.
Yeah.
And hopefully 2-putt for a triple.
Yeah.
We're switching it up on the jobs in olden days.
Okay.
We're going medieval times.
Give me a couple examples.
What is your job? Well, I'm not gonna.
Medieval?
Yeah. I mean,
you could be a brewer.
You could be a brewer. You could be a blacksmith. You could be a hunter. You could be.
I think I would like to be a hunter.
So that's after cavemen, but like a long time, right?
Yeah, that's that's civilization.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Okay.
You got
like swords.
You got castles. You got metal. You got
So that's not going to be like U.S. That's like European.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think I would try to be a hunter and gatherer. I think that
for sure.
Yeah. Or if there's an athlete at that time, I don't know what the sport is, but I would try it.
Yeah. I think it would be like fighting a lion. Like right?
Well, I don't want to die. I think would the Colosseum be medieval times?
No.
Is that okay.
Yeah.
I'm bad.
But did you guys see Gladiator 2?
I haven't. I want to see it.
It's good.
Is it good?
Was Gerard Butler in it?
No.
Gerard Butler. I don't know.
Why would Gerard Butler be?
He's not the. You're thinking of the first one, but he's not the main guy.
Was he in the first one?
No.
It's
No.
That guy's name.
The first one's Russell Crowe.
Is okay. I never saw the movie then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's really good.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think I would try to be a hunter and gatherer, but I don't know. That's a hard question.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I would do in the 1700s. I just thought that would be.
Do you
fun.
think you could get into hunting nowadays?
I want to. I really want to. But I don't have the time right now.
Why not?
I think I will in the future.
Yeah. Why don't you have the time now? I know you're...
Because I'm just trying to figure a lot of shit out. And it's not like I have the time. I'm sure I could make the time. Yeah. It's just I have a lot of other things that I want to spend time with, like spending time with Claire.
Yeah.
Like riding my bike, hanging out with friends, spending time with my family. Like that all...
You're also in like a pretty big transition part of your life though, because you've been working for your Uncle Jimmy, but you've been looking for like a career to...
I don't know, man. I'm having a lot of fun working landscaping. Like I originally, when I started working landscaping with him, it was kind of like I
temporary.
I needed a job,
and some money.
He was nice enough to give me a job. Dude, I really like it.
So you're kind of falling in love with it.
I'm falling in love with it. It's just like one of those things where like you don't expect to do something for a long time, and then you're just kind of like, whoa. Yeah. I'm really, really enjoying that. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's too soon. But it's just like trying to figure out that aspect of life. Then I'm getting all the questions about what's going on with Claire and I, and that's hard to manage. And it's
how long have you guys been together?
8 years. August it'll be 9.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
Buy the ring yet?
No. I got the ring size.
Sorry, dick question.
I know the ring size. Well, but I've known the ring size since high school.
We skipped kind of a huge part of your life too, where you finished college and hung out in New Zealand for a little bit.
Yeah. I graduated college and then went and traveled New Zealand for 9 months, just
being a sick cunt.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I traveled working on farms through a program called Woofing, and I traveled with my girlfriend Claire and her friend Tessa, and my other girlfriend, my mountain bike. And spent a lot of time in Rotorua, and then traveled up to Cape Reinga, which is the furthest north part of New Zealand. Super cool. And we kind of zigzagged our way all the way down to the South Island, and the furthest, I didn't make it all the way down to the furthest south tip, but we made it down to, I think, Balclutha was the furthest south. I think that's further south than Queenstown.
How long did you spend in Queenstown?
3.5, 4 months.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then we spent probably 3 months. 3 months in Queenstown, and then probably another 3.5 months in Rotorua total.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, we were another like 3 months. We were just living. I had a van. We were living out of the van, or house sitting. Like house sitting is a big thing over there. You get online and you make a profile. And Claire was super good. Claire was like, if I didn't have Claire, I think I would have just fucking been stranded in my van the whole time, because she was super good about reaching out to people on the house sitting, on woofing, like all this stuff. And I was like,
securing beds to sleep in.
I was like, I'm gonna go ride my bike, and if we can't find somewhere to stay tonight, we'll just sleep in the van. And she's like, Gavin, the bed in the van sucks. Like, that's fair. But no, she was totally fine sleeping in the van. But she was really good about reaching out to people and kind of planning the next step of the trip. Because a lot of the times we didn't have anything. Like one time we hit a point in the trip where we had nowhere to stay other than the van, which was a great thing to fall back on. But we ended up, there's a lady from town named Heather Brown, married a Kiwi named Simon.
Yeah.
She was a really good surfer from Half Moon Bay, and she surfed on Team USA with Kelly Slater and shit.
But like, she's the really
Avalanche Patrol.
Yeah, she's Avalanche at Kirkwood.
Yeah. Her husband, they met us in Downeyville the year before you came. They met us up there.
No, I was there for that year.
Oh, yeah, David was there. But they were riding their motos. And I was talking to her and Simon about traveling New Zealand, and they're like, hey, you ever get into like a pickle and you need anything on the South Island or really anywhere, give us a call. Like, we'll try to help you out. And we got into a pickle. So I called him, and Simon was like, all right, it was the day. So bad, but it was like the day of. And he's like, I wish you would have given me more notice. Told him where we were, and dude, he called me back in like 2 hours, and he's like, my best friend from growing up is going to take you guys in. He has a deer farm in Murchison, New Zealand. And he's like, he said, you guys can come, stay as long as you want. We're like, fuck, all right, we're going down there. It's like 2 hours, middle of nowhere, like nowhere, dude.
Hell yeah.
You drive in, there's nothing around for miles, just a river. And then you get to Murchison, and it's this cool little downtown. There's a market, gas station, theater, and like an old, like a Bonito, like a bar and grill.
Yeah.
And a couple other restaurants. But get through town, you drive another like 10 miles outside of town, cut across this big bridge and this another mile or 2 miles on a dirt road, and you're at their house, and they have 900 acres. He farms red deer. He does velveting and all this stuff. Fucking sickest stay, dude. Such cool people.
Yeah.
Sarah and Tony, such cool people.
You guys had no idea what you were getting into.
No idea, dude.
Yeah.
We showed up. They had no idea who the hell we were.
Yeah.
They're just super cool. We showed up, and Tony is like a typical farmer, very short-spoken, quiet, just a built dude, like scared. I was scared when I first met him. I shook his hand. I was like, hey, thank you for taking us in. He's like, oh yeah, it's all right. Like that. And we go inside, and we're like getting to know each other. And then he's like, there's one thing you can't, if you're going to stay here, you can't tell Simon about what we're going to do. There's this event. We're like, all right, what's the event? And he's like, it's a fundraiser in town so that we can keep the local theater alive. We do it once a year. Like, it sells out. It's this big show. And we're like, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, we'll go. We're like, what's the show? And he's like, it's all the local farmers in a drag show. And we're like, no way. So we just met these people, and the Saturday of, they're super cool. They're letting us like drive around on their property, swim in the river.
How long were you guys there at their place?
I think we were there for a week the first time, and then we came back for another week the second time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Just like the sickest river. If it was a river in the States, it would just be completely packed with people, but it was just isolated.
That's
and
unreal.
There's like eels. He was showing us, he killed a couple sheep, and he took out the guts when he skinned or cleaned them. And he's like, hey, you guys want to go watch? We're going to throw the guts, tie them around a tree, and watch the eels. And we're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, and they just...
Dude, they do the death roll. They like come out, bite. I had no idea there was eels in the rivers. What's that?
Lampreys?
Lampreys. I don't know.
Or eel. Okay.
No, they're eel. Yeah. They're eel. They're from the ocean.
Yeah.
But they're like 70, 80 years old, dude. They're huge. And I had no idea. This was a big moment for me because I had been swimming in rivers and I had no idea there was eels. And now I'm seeing these things with teeth that look like little sharks. I'm like, I'm not going in the river. That was cool. He brought us in, showed us the whole velveting process, walked us through their life, and was just like open doors. And that was probably my favorite stay. But yeah, we had a lot of really cool stays. That was just really cool to experience.
Okay.
Yeah. And then came home. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're kind of coming up to the end of it, but let's ask you a couple more questions, dude. Favorite food?
Favorite food? Ribs.
Ribs.
I love
just
BBQ ribs.
Hands down ribs.
But is ribs your death row meal?
If my mom can cook them, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. If my mom could come in and cook.
Does your mom boil the ribs before she grills them?
No.
No boiling?
No.
No boiled
just
meat?
straight ribs.
Straight ribs.
Straight ribs.
Yep.
Okay. You're going to a gas station on the way out of town.
Out of town.
You're going on a road trip.
Okay.
6 hours.
Yeah.
What are you getting from the gas station?
You're getting a gallon jug of water.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And I'm doing the piss challenge, dude.
Dude.
How fast can you drink a gallon of
The
water?
world doesn't need to know about it.
You drink. I got a fun challenge. I tried to get David to do it. I tried to get everybody to do it in the car. But you buy a gallon jug of water, and the whole point is you can't pee until you finish your gallon of water, and then you have to fill the gallon jug full of piss by the end of the car ride.
It's disgusting.
It was fucking awesome. James and I did it so fast.
We're like, awesome. I need to get another gallon of water.
And then you find out like you're not supposed to drink water that fast, so your body just shuts down for like an hour. Like for an hour of the car ride, I was like in and out of sleep. I drank a Red Bull and I was still like, whoa.
No one's got more will and less, minerals in their body than you do.
Gotta go for it, dude.
It's so terrible.
David was just like, no, pull over, Nico.
Yeah. All right, favorite travel spot?
Travel spot?
Yeah.
New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Yeah, just all of New Zealand too.
Okay.
But if I had to pick a favorite, probably Cape Reinga, just because the people that we stayed with that I was just telling you about, Tony and Sarah, they told us to go at sunrise to this place because in Maori culture, it's supposed to be where the spirits jumped into the afterlife. It's like the edge of the island.
Okay.
And it's where two seas meet. I can't remember which seas. I think it's it might be the Pacific Ocean and somewhere else, but you can see this like distinct change in water and a line down the middle. Beautiful. Lighthouse, sunrise, and yeah, it just was magical. My sister came to visit us at that time. It was awesome.
Okay.
No service.
They're
just there with the people that you're with. Yeah.
They're for memories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Also, I never did. I'm sure I did say thank you, but the Polaroid cameras that you gave me.
Oh my God.
That was such a good gift.
The disposable cameras.
Disposable cameras. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. That was awesome. I was going to try to get those to you the night you left, and then I wanted to get you your shirt too, but I just told you your Christmas present.
Ooh, a shirt.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
All right. Plans for the future? Get better at golf.
Figure shit out.
Figure stuff out.
Yeah.
You're in a big transition period.
Yeah.
Landscaper life or something else.
Yeah.
Get better at golf.
Yeah. Better at golf. Better at riding mountain bikes.
Better at cornhole.
Better at be the bbest partner I can for Claire. Best kid I can be for my parents. Best sibling I can be for my sister.
Oh yeah.
Just try to be the best, dude.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
You're the best at being the best, right?
Try to be the best at being the best when it's hard to be the best, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody can be the best.
Nobody can.
Do you think you're the best at anything? Is there something out there that you just like, I am the best at this?
No. I'm really
pissing in jugs.
Yeah.
I think, dude, pissing in jugs. No, I'm really good at not stopping at a trick shot until I make it.
Okay.
I think I can do that forever.
Yeah.
Like that golf shot over Nico's house.
Yeah.
By the time that I made it, Nico had given up. He was just like, no, I'm done. It had been hours. Yeah. And I was just like, running back forth.
I wonder if we can put that. So Gavin hit a golf ball onto a fake green.
Yeah, it was
Bryson DeChambeau style.
Yeah, we went
shot over the house to the backyard putting green.
Yeah, it was sick. We went and got, obviously we didn't use a real golf ball because we didn't want to kill Nico's parents' windows.
Yeah.
Which we hit multiple times with the foam ball.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah. But we got hit foam balls over the house, and I made one. Yeah. It was sick. I called out Bryson DeChambeau, and he never got back to me.
Yeah.
Maybe he will now.
It's on video. We'll see if we can put it.
He had some dude to his house to do the challenge. Dude made it in 5 shots. That was nuts.
Insane.
Yeah, like 8 hours to do it, maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah. You would have whooped him.
Probably not, but I would have had fun.
Cool, dude. All right. Well, hopefully everyone like to meet you.
Let's go. Next time you guys see us, we'll be with a guest, hopefully.
Yeah.
So
set up one more microphone.
Okay.
We might be in.
Or if not, we'll have a different show with the 3 of us talking about stupid shit.
Yeah.
We're the Between Shifts podcast.
Thanks for checking in, guys.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that episode of the podcast. Once again, we're brought to you by Bikeworks HMB, your one-stop shop for bike service, sales, and rentals in Half Moon Bay, California. Whether you're on the mountain, road, or low on battery, Bikeworks HMB has your back. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast and would like to support, please reach out to us at betweenshiftspod@gmail.com. The link will be in the description. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. GT signing off.